What's up, everyone, and welcome to Clear Talk. And in this video, what I wanted to talk about was this clear, becoming more and more and more obvious division in perceived reality. Okay, when it comes to people in the US, okay, when it comes to politics and events and things that are going on in the United States right now. Okay, I'm splitting it in basically two categories here, where it's like one I'm calling like on the ground, actual what we see reality. Okay, people on the ground, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, like reality. And then over here, this bubble of Trump regime, MAGA, extreme, like made up reality. Okay. And it has become very blatantly obvious. More and more events that happen. And the shooting, the ICE shooting, killing, murdering of Renee Good a couple of days ago in Minneapolis, and the reactions, the responses immediately after, and even after evidence and more evidence shown has come about, that the reactions and responses are so like evidently wrong lies about the events that happened and what we are seeing in reality. It is mind-boggling, and how those things that were said, the responses that were said, and how people have taken those responses and just go with them without any evidence, or even when they're shown evidence, they clearly still can't, like, they just deny it. And it's incredible to me. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Thank you very much for coming here to Clear Talk. If you are new, welcome. If you would like to check out more videos from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff to get more videos in front of more people. If you'd like to check out videos from my other channels, JMDPLAY, JMD Puzzling, if you like what you see there, consider subscribing to those channels. It would help out those channels too. It would be amazing. Thank you very much if you do. Patreon there, $3 a month. You can support any of the channels you would like to help grow those channels, to help grow Patreon, to help grow the JMD Nation, and contribute however you would like. Any kind of contribution and support you give is very much appreciated. I thank you so very much. And if you are returning, you are freaking amazing. You're freaking amazing. Thank you for coming back over and over again. And hopefully you are getting a clear, like, rational, reasonable experience here. As we talk about things that are going on in our world today. So, I mean, that's something I've never really said, but, you know, I might add that into my thing. All right, so I did a video yesterday. It was a long ass video. I know. I haven't even gotten very many views on it, but I did a long ass video yesterday because I wanted to go through all the evidence that I could come up and find, showing different angles, and giving my, like, honest opinion of what happened. And it became blatantly clear to me, even from the extended video. Like, I even presented the original, like, what the video that everybody keeps going at, and they've cut it into a couple of different things to fit within this, you know, window that they are trying to report on, or whatever, on main newses or whatever. I showed the entire clip of the woman from the main view, like the rear, that started from the rear left view where the officers coming. I showed that entire video. And what is one thing that is striking to me, that has not, I've only seen, even just today, only a couple of places that have actually even brought it up. Most of the news places yesterday didn't even bring it up. Is the simple fact that this guy, the guy that shot Renee Good, he left the scene. And I made that up. I pointed that out from the video because I didn't even know that until I watched the extended video. But that was the one thing that wasn't even being talked about. And it's like blowing my mind that wasn't even being talked about. Was that he fucking left the scene. He shoots the woman, walks down there. For me, it's either he was checking to see what condition she was, or to even verify. I don't know, verify that she was dead. I don't have a clue. Then he comes back, claims, hey, we need to call 911 or whatever. Then he proceeds to get into a vehicle along with a few other agents and leaves. Fucking leaves. And some will be like, you know what? Sure, he would probably left because, they said he went to the hospital because he was injured, blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. If he was injured, then he needed the ambulance that they were calling for her. He would have needed to have been attended by that as an ambulance himself. Anybody else in the situation of a crime or an incident, if you don't want to go far enough to say that it was a crime, an incident is to not leave the scene of the incident. You are to stay there so that authorities and the people that need to get information from what happened or whatever, like, he fucking left. He fucking left. That in itself, even if you don't want to go as far as to say that he should be criminalized for the shots or whatever, that he was justified in self-defense or whatever, him leaving the scene, in my opinion, is enough to book him and do something. He should be reprimanded just for that alone. I think that is wild that has not come up. But I just want to go ahead and get that rant and out of the way. Okay? I'm going to get that rant out of the way. But I showed you evidence, multiple views, where to me it looked more and more like he did not get hit. He did not get in it. At the very most, he may have been bumped. But then even after I did that video, and it didn't immediately come to my attention until I watched some other stuff later, that when you look at the video, because I was too much focused on his feet. I was focused on his position when I looked at it. And seeing whether or not he, how far to the side of the vehicle he was as the vehicle was pulling up around and blah, blah, blah. And some people I know I made this argument and will make this argument. Well, it doesn't matter. From his perspective, you got to think about what he perceived and whether or not, he may not have been able to see the tires or didn't know if she was going to come at him or not. So in self-defense, he pulled the firearm to shoot at her, blah, 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 because he felt threatened. And my response is that, in my opinion, should not be your initial response in the first place. Like, that shouldn't even be. If somebody's coming at me with a vehicle, my first instinct isn't to like pull a weapon on them. It would be to just fucking get the fuck out of the way. That would seem like a first response to me. But this guy's response was to pull the gun out and shoot at her. But what I began to realize and notice when I stopped looking at the feet, though, was looking at his positioning on the vehicle once he made those shots. And when you look at it, you can tell. If you want to make the argument that he was hit, I'm about to say something that could make the argument that he put himself in a position of getting hit. Just bear with me. Because when you look at it, and we're going to show it. We're going to show video. So you can watch it here. You can go look at it yourself. But when she starts to move forward and he pulls his gun, you can see that he clearly reaches over himself, over the hood of the vehicle. He extends his arm out, his body out over the vehicle. And when he shoots his first shot, the one that goes through the windshield, you can see that the gun is damn near point blank to the windshield when he shoots it. So he is literally, for that to happen, he is literally extending his arm over the hood of the car, over the vehicle, which means he is putting his body over a moving vehicle. And in order for him to do so, he would have still also had to been to the side of that vehicle. You can tell that his feet are out from the side of his feet do not get ran over by the wheels. So he's not in front of the vehicle. He's far enough to the side, the base of his body is far enough to the side of the vehicle to not get hit, to not get ran over, while he's extending his arm over the vehicle to shoot at her. His first shot through the windshield, he is extending over the vehicle. I beg you to go look at it and specifically stress yourself on that part of the video. Look at his arms. Look at his body posture. And to the point that he may have gotten hit, I also look, and it looks as if the hand that his other hand that he has the phone in, it's almost as if he actually put his hand on the corner of the vehicle to like support himself while he was going over to shoot her, as if he did like that. So he's like pulling himself from the vehicle, but in order for him to actually extend over the vehicle to shoot at her. So, and that to me is him placing his body in a position on the vehicle to where he could get hit. So, that's as much his fault as one might want to argue that she attempted to strike him or hit him. All right, another rant out of the way. So, now, but what was the results? What are the responses rather from key figures, key people immediately after? Okay, let's talk about this. We have Donald Trump, and I didn't do this in the video yesterday, but we're going to do it here. Donald Trump, he states, I have just viewed the clip of the event, and keep that in mind. I've just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willingly, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, which they gave here, which is the one view that one could take that he may have gotten hit. Okay, it's the only view that I have seen where, because of the graininess of it and the speed of it, it looks as if in the positioning, it almost looks as if the vehicle pushed him out of the way. Where I would actually argue it from other angles, it looks more like he pushed himself out of the way from the vehicle as he was reaching over, like I was demonstrating. As he was reaching over to shoot her over the vehicle, he's like pushing himself off of the vehicle, maybe trying to make sure he didn't get his feet ran over, but nevertheless, he's extending himself over the vehicle. But this is the one that he gives. And it says, attached to clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. And goes on to say, this situation is being studied. The reason for this incident has happened is because radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our officers. Radical left movement and violent hate. Okay, this is where he's stating. And then in a New York Times interview, is like a 3-hour interview, he gets asked in this about the incident, and he pretty much regurgitates the same shit to them, and then he's like, but there's been evidence to show that the leadership in the state is stating that it doesn't look to them that was the case. We have all these video evidence is showing it looks very much like it's questionable as whether that was the case. And then he even requests to see what video footage that they have. They present it to him, and then he's like, well, it does look bad. But I mean, it's just bad. I hate that it happened. I hate that he doesn't backtrack necessarily, but he also doesn't like reaffirm after watching the clip. So it goes to prove that he didn't even see all the different angles of the videos of what happened before getting on social media immediately and regurgitating this narrative that clearly he was more than likely just told by somebody, oh, this is what happened, and so this is what you should think. But we have yet to get any like response afterwards from him of any clarification or any willingness to backtrack this or anything like that. Then we have JD Vance. JD Vance, this is how he responds. I'm sorry. I just noticed that the video volume was not working. Give me just a second. I don't know why this is. Why are you doing that? I so apologize. Hold on. For some reason, I didn't realize that my program here was not showing as if what should be my input or whatever output um why is this not it does show there. Why is this not showing?
His life ended.
Okay, there it goes. Okay, my bad. All right. Let's start this back over. I apologize again.
Here. When I was actually walking out here, somebody sent me a photo of a CNN headline about what happened in Minneapolis. And this is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day. What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile?
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. I'm going to stop right this because this was brought up. This was brought up. And from my understanding, the incident that he's talking about is that the officer in this incident 6 months ago rammed another vehicle with his vehicle, then proceeded to get out and forcibly remove the person from the vehicle. So he's got his arms and stuff in the window trying to unlock and open the door, much like his little accessory did on Renee Good with her vehicle. And that person, much like Renee Good's response, was to try to get away out of, more than likely, like I stated yesterday, panic or whatever of what was about to happen to them. When you get this aggression coming at you, I mean, a very natural human reaction is to panic, to freak out. And when you're in a vehicle, the way you freak out is to get the fuck away, which means you make your vehicle mobile. Okay? Very easy human response. He was then dragged because he was holding on so dearly to try to get that person out of that vehicle. He was dragged. And yes, he apparently did, get hurt, stitches, whatever. I don't know. I don't know the details of his injuries. But that's what my understanding of the incident in which he did get hurt by being dragged by a car because he was trying to get into the vehicle. He was trying to break the door open to get the person out of the vehicle, and the person attempted to flee and get away. Now, okay, you can justify, or you can talk, or you can rational, you can have a conversation about, why or what and happened, and whether it was good or bad, or whether he was, justified, blah, 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 blah. But he says here, so you might feel that the guy may have had some, concerns over, another vehicle coming at me, or a vehicle coming at me. I might be scared of a vehicle approaching, so that's the reason why I pull my weapon. If he was so worried about a vehicle because of some traumatic experience he had 6 months ago, then maybe he shouldn't have fucking walked in front of the vehicle. Which is something that is in the minimal training that these officers do receive. That is one of the key things in their training, is to not walk and be in front of a vehicle. And so if he had some kind of mental, PTSD over the incident 6 months ago, I don't know, maybe he shouldn't have been in front of the vehicle. But he placed himself there. That in itself is complete just bullshit explanation as to why he would decide to pull his gun. That's just absolutely. And in that case, he also was not a reasonable agent at that moment.
What that headline leaves out is that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States of America. What that headline leaves out is that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers to do their job.
And this is what they keep pushing. This whole this thing that they've been talking about for months now, this massive left-wing radical structural infrastructure, organization that is paid by some millionaires or billionaires somewhere. And that's how all this, it's complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit. This woman happened to be in the area and come across this. She just dropped off her child, and she happened to be in the area. Now, to what point, it is still unclear as to what point and how she may have been trying to interfere with operations. And even to any argument that she was trying to interfere or block, at the moment of the incident, she was attempting to leave. And not only was she attempting to leave, and she even stated it has been clarified in audio from the video that the officers that decided that she herself waved, as she had done multiple people before that, waving them by because she was trying to go the other direction. As those agents decided to stop and get out and, aggress towards her to agitate the situation, it showed in the audio clip that she was stating, "I'm trying to leave, I'm trying to go," as they are approaching her vehicle. So she's not trying to impede at that moment. Even if there's some way you can argue she was impeding before then, in this moment, she was not. She was allowing agents to to go by her, to leave, as she had already done 2 or 3 before, the one that stopped and decided to intervene or to detain her if that was their intent or whatever, or arrest her, make an example of her, which we've seen over and over and over and over and over again with these agents, escalating it to the point that what happened, and it was completely unnecessary. She was not trying to, in that moment, impede. She was trying to leave, just like everybody else was.
If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to...
So this is all just cope. This is all cope and bullshit. Trying to form a larger narrative than what actually happened. And it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then we have the Queen Ice bitch herself, Kristi Noem, and this is her response.
You know, people need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop. And I'm asking the Department of Justice to prosecute it as domestic terrorism because it's clear that it's being coordinated. People are being trained and told how to use their vehicles to impede law enforcement operations and then to run over anybody who gets in their way while they go out there and try to disrupt peace and public safety. And Americans deserve better.
She makes it out as if she was there on purpose and that she purposely tried to run the officer. That was like her whole intent. While these officers were just doing their job, blah, 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 blah. And she was just there to ram. She's been trained to use her vehicle as a ramming, domestic terrorist act, ramming officers. And that is absolutely nowhere close to what happened. Not even remotely close to what happened. Absolutely not. And this guy right here, this Bovino guy here, he's like the leader of the agents and stuff that have been going through Minneapolis. He's also been the leader going through other cities as well. He's like infamous now on TikTok and other areas for his leadership and the fact that he's like the one big bold one that won't walk, that will, keep his face uncovered because he's the big baddie or whatever. He's standing here. He is the leader of he knows what happened. He knows what happened. But he doesn't care. He's letting her say this because he's wanting to go along with the narrative. Bunch of bullshit. We've seen the videos. And then here we go again with this Barbie ass woman here.
That took place in Minnesota yesterday occurred as a result of a larger, sinister, left-wing movement that has spread across our country, where our brave men and women of federal law enforcement are under organized attack. Right now, immigration and customs enforcement officers are facing a 1,200% increase in assaults, a 3,200% increase in vehicle rammings, and an 8,000% increase in death threats. ICE agents are faithfully enforcing federal law to protect the safety of the American people by removing criminal illegal aliens from our country, which is exactly what nearly 80 million Americans elected President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance to do. Radicals in the Democrat Party are furious over this. They don't want our border secured or criminal illegal aliens being removed. As a result, Democrats are impeding immigration enforcement operations daily, creating extremely heightened and dangerous circumstances that make it nearly impossible for the men and women of law enforcement to simply do their jobs.
Simply do their job. Simply do their job. Their job, she's just stated, was to make Americans safe. Wow, 2 days ago, they shot and killed one. There's been nothing about ICE and DHS actions over the past few months that has shown any expression or intention to make Americans feel safe. And you see that over and over in every one of these cities that they enter into, where people are backlashing, people are coming out, people are stating, we do not want you here. You are not wanted here. We don't want you grabbing up people that we care and love and are, contributing to our community, and we're perfectly okay with, that are law-abiding citizens. We don't care. You're grabbing up people. And we've had this discussion over and over again. If you were doing this responsibly and actually going after only criminals, like you claimed you were in the beginning, but no, you were picking up all kinds of people, grabbing anybody, and anybody who you say is impeding on your investigation and your process or whatever, which everything I'm seeing is just because somebody is saying something to you that you don't like, telling you to stop, telling you you can't do that or you shouldn't be doing that. And then they engage and say that you're impeding on their process and that we're being putting you under arrest. I've seen countless videos over and over and over and over again of these officers acting like they can just arrest anybody just because you are saying something to them. You're speaking words, even if you are not even remotely close to them. There was a video of a guy I saw yesterday. He was on the porch of his home. While ICE was doing activity with a person outside of his fence at the road. And he is verbally expressing to them, because he's seeing them like basically abusing this person. Hey, you can't do that. Don't hit him like that. You can't do that, blah, 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 blah. And some other agents from across the street proceed to come into his private property through his fence and up onto his porch, claiming that he is impeding on their process and that they are putting him under arrest. He is on his private property, on his porch, like 25, 30 feet away, just because he was verbally expressing his disapproval of their actions. That warranted them arresting him. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. It's absolutely ridiculous. I saw a video just the day before getting on and doing this of two kind of young girls being pulled over by an ICE agent because they were following them. And they were telling them, if you continue to follow us, we will stop again and we will break your windows and rip you out of the vehicle. That was their threat to these young girls because they were following them in a vehicle. For starters, it's not illegal to follow somebody. It might be annoying. And even to some degree, you might feel a little threatened. But I mean, these are ICE agents. Come on. I could understand if it was the other way around. You're threatened, you're scared of two young women. Come on, bro. You're threatening to break their windows and rip them out of their cars. It's this entitlement that ICE has. That's the problem. Thinking they can do whatever. And they can go to any means of violence that they deem necessary on anybody who is opposition to their operations. And to the very minimal, it doesn't even take, like, I can understand the argument from the right wing of when you're saying, okay, yeah, people are throwing bricks at them or they're, and can literally put their lives in danger. They're putting like something like, these people are getting upset and pissy and like getting violent. They're going to putting their aggression towards individuals just because they're speaking to them. as we talked about yesterday, throwing snowballs at them. They feel threatened. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. And this is just it's just lies. This is lies. And you had other lawmakers and stuff coming out talking about is domestic terrorism, like Kristi Noem stated, domestic terrorism. I mean, even if she was impeding, even if she was calling them out and telling them that they didn't need to be doing what they were doing or whatever, that's not domestic terrorism. You have the head of DHS, of Homeland Security, claiming that this person was a domestic terrorist. I don't feel like she understands what that term means. I think she needs to look it up. But then you have other lawmakers that or YouTuber, right-wing commentators and stuff talking about how she deserved what she got. All people, or that she was a domestic terrorist, and if you impede or one of the lawmakers, I can't remember her name, if you impede with officers or engage with officers, then you may lose your life. That's what that's what might happen. If you don't want to lose your life, don't involve yourself with them. So that's basically a threat that if you engage with these officers, you might lose your life. Like that's the now initiative of them. Like that's that is now their default counter to opposition is to take your life. And while you've got plenty of even like Fox News anchors and stuff that have been saying shit about her and making all these claims or whatnot, it was actually good to see here a break in that from this commentator, anchor, whatever from Fox News, after she actually looked at the evidence, looked at the videos, and drawn her own like rational conclusion. It's good, and this was actually expressed over Fox News, and it's mind blowing. I wonder though how many actual viewers believed her though. That's the question. But take a look at this.
So, Jesse, you just said this woman is in severe crisis. She was boxed in. If you watch the whole video,
she was boxed in.
That's what she was boxed in.
No, I said the team was boxed in.
Okay, the team was boxed in by once she moved over, she pulled to the side, and then she actually waves another ICE officer.
Yeah, for starters, Jesse Waters is such a lame ass, pathetic piece of human being. All the shit that he has said and talked about, and then the stuff that he has said about her, and to argue that they were boxed in. They look like they were mobile to me. We've seen multiple. We saw her waving them by. They seemed to be working around perfectly fine. There was nobody boxed in. It's such bullshit. But as she goes on to explain from what she saw.
She pulled to the side, and then she actually waves another ICE officer past her, right? So she's in such severe crisis that she can be polite in traffic and say, you go ahead. And then you hear her actually audibly saying, I'm pulling out, right? She signals exactly what she's doing. She starts to move forward, and everyone should go and watch. The New York Times has about 3.5 minutes of footage coming from every angle, and this is what they brought up to President Trump when they were meeting with him last night, when he said, the officer, the brave officer, and after he tweeted, it's hard to believe that the officer is alive when he walked away completely unscathed. We can see that on video as well. But the footage contradicts the administration on almost every level of what they've said. Renee Good waving the vehicle by. The officer was to the side of the car when he drew the gun. He leaned over the hood for the first shot. You can see that on the angle too. That he fired 2 more shots at arm's length on a 90-degree angle. And it almost doesn't matter, actually, what she was doing, because she didn't have another weapon. According to DOJ policy, which they should be in compliance with, It says deadly force may not be used solely to prevent the escape of a fleeing suspect. Firearms must be discharged at a moving vehicle unless a person is threatening deadly force by other means than the vehicle, and no other means of defense exist, including moving out of the path. He could clearly move out of the path because he did, and that's why he was unscathed in this. I don't know why it wasn't good enough for Secretary Noem or the president or the vice president to say, this is a tragedy, we need to investigate this. And not only do we need to investigate it, we need the FBI to work with local officials on the ground in Minnesota, which apparently they do not want to do. And Governor Walz was talking about that as well. That would have been the responsible thing to do here. And talking as if there is no potential that this officer is at fault with what happened feels like you're getting a little bit ahead of your skis, especially when there is so much footage that contradicts the story that the administration is giving. So,
Hello.
Jesse.
Hello. This was on Fox News, y'all. This is the most truth I have heard on Fox News in maybe ever. Maybe literally ever. This woman may have just ended her career with Fox News. I'll be surprised if she's still employed by Fox. Now, that's not to claim that she doesn't have some horrible views on other stuff or whatever, but because I don't know, her views on a lot of other things or whatever. But in this particular situation, she was at least rational enough to watch the videos and could diagnose that what the administration has claimed, from the president to the vice president to Kristi Noem, to Stephen Miller, all of that is just complete nonsense. It does not add up, does not make sense whatsoever. And she is rebuking apparently even some on this panel and what they have said in this moment or before this moment. I was like blown away when I heard what she said here. And so it really does like make me wonder, people that actually viewed this, if they got to see this, what did they take from it? Because it really did blow my mind. It really did blow my mind. But this is what I'm talking about, though, when I'm talking about this division in reality, where you have the administration saying one thing about a particular event, but then when we look at the reality on the ground, it just does not add up. It does not add up. And we're seeing it with our eyes. It's the same kind of shit they used to talk about when the right wing would talk about the Biden administration. Oh, they're talking about Biden and they're acting like he's so great and wonderful, but we can see with our own eyes he's lost his mind and he's asleep and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, even the people on the left see that. We see it. We know that the administration is full of shit. We admitted that. Yeah, there's something wrong with them, no doubt. But when it's the other reverse around from that, and we're going, look, the administration is wrong. They're lying to you. Okay, they clearly are telling you something that your own eyes can see differently, and yet they're like so many of them are like, I still believe them. She deserved what she got. She shouldn't have been impeding. This same group of people that just a few months ago, when it come to Charlie Kirk, were mad at some left people who, made some comments around, well, he said some shit that it kind of got, I can understand why people don't, aren't that upset about it. They were getting mad that people weren't upset about it, or that people were being kind of like cold about it. Like, okay, yeah, he died. He got shot. Okay. Or the people that was like, yeah, he kind of deserved it. They were getting all mad about that. But when it comes to this lady, it's perfectly okay that she deserved it, because she, was potentially putting this officer at, life at risk, when he actually did put her life at risk. And like I've made, I will make the argument over and over again. I don't care what you may think your life is in danger. Pulling a weapon is not the thing to do. It's not the smart. It's not even a smart thing to do whatsoever. I mean, in this instance, he happened to actually shoot her. He killed her. But then what happened after that? The vehicle continued to run and ram into other vehicles until it was stopped by a pole. You put this in a situation where yes, you took care of her apparently, but you didn't. The vehicle could have hit anybody, a bystander, another agent, anybody. An amount of people couldn't have gotten injured or even killed. Also, in this instance, just by chance, it didn't happen. But when you make that kind of decision, that's what the dominoes that could have happened. Or he could have completely missed her, and bullets could have shot and ricocheted in other directions that could have potentially hit bystanders or even other agents. So even the argument that this was self-defense and this was an act of self-defense to protect himself or other agents is a stupid defense. And it's a stupid act. And it's a stupid excuse. Because there's no way where I would say that you pulling this gun in this situation protects anybody. You are actually putting more people at risk. But here's the video she's talking about. This is the breakdown that the New York Times presented.
On Wednesday, in Minneapolis, a federal agent fatally shot a motorist, 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. Trump administration officials said these were, quote, defensive shots, fired because the officer was being run over.
And a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over.
But our analysis of bystander footage, filmed from different angles, appears to show the agent was not in the path of the victim's SUV when he fired 3 shots at close range. Here's how events unfolded. Moments before the shooting, the victim's maroon SUV is stopped in the middle of the street. Multiple unmarked federal vehicles are idling nearby. Secretary Noem alleged the motorist, quote, was blocking the officers in. Bystanders are blowing whistles and yelling at federal agents.
Go home to Texas!
Then, federal vehicles start moving toward the maroon SUV, with sirens and lights blaring. A federal agent films the scene on his phone. The driver rolls forward slightly, turning left, then stops and waves for others to go ahead. 2 agents exit this silver pickup and walk toward the vehicle. Moments later, shots are fired. Let's look at the scene again more closely. This is the agent who shoots the driver. He walks around the car filming and disappears from view. Other agents pull up and order the driver to exit her vehicle. One of them grabs at the door handle and reaches inside. The SUV reverses, then turns right, apparently attempting to leave. At the same time, the agent filming crosses toward the left of the vehicle and grabs his gun. He opens fire on the motorist and continues shooting as she drives past. The moment the agent fires, he is standing here, to the left of the SUV, and the wheels are pointing to the right, away from the agent. This appears to conflict with allegations that the SUV was ramming or about to ram the officer. President Trump and others said the federal agent was hit by the SUV, often pointing to another video filmed from a different angle. And it's true that at this moment in this grainy low-resolution footage, it does look like the agent is being struck by the SUV. But when we synchronize it with the first clip, we can see the agent is not being run over. In fact, his feet are positioned away from the SUV.
Matter of fact, even in that view right there,
but when we synchronize
when you get
with
it
the
up
first
close,
clip, we can
right here, this is the front of the vehicle. He is to the side. He's to the side. And like I stated, you see
low resolution footage, it does look like the agent is being struck by the SUV. But when we
he extends his arm and body over the hood of the car
in fact, his
to
feet are
shoot
positioned away
at
from
damn
the
near
SUV.
point blank on the windshield.
The SUV crashes into a white car parked down the road. A bystander runs toward the collision. The federal agents on scene do not appear to rush to provide emergency medical care. Eventually, the agent
they don't
who
seem to
shot the
care at
motorist
all, matter of
approaches the
fact.
vehicle.
He's the only one
Seconds
that really
later,
went
he
down
turns
there.
back around and
Like I
tells his
said, if
colleagues
it
to
was just to
call 911.
verify or whatever,
Shame! You shot someone! You shot someone!
Agents block several bystanders who attempt to provide medical care, including one who identifies himself as a physician.
I go check a pulse.
No! Back up! Now!
I'm a physician.
I don't care. Understand.
At the same time, several agents, including the agent who opened fire, get in their vehicles and drive
leave.
off, apparently altering
leave
active
the
course.
fucking scene. Leave the scene. This is one thing that I didn't show yesterday, and I meant to. Well, not this particular video, but something that's in this video. And it, to me, shows a clear difference between how ICE treats protesters versus someone that they consider a part of them, or that they don't feel threatened by because they're a part of them. And this video of the guy that is shown, this MAGA defender of ICE, and the things that he says is concerning at the very, and that's putting it mildly. Because this is the overall tone, and in the fact that the ICE and DHS agents around him are not even trying to like go against what he's saying and be like, hey, bro, like chill out. Like, no, that's not what we're here for. They allow him to engage in the way he did and say what he said.
There's more space over there. I'd like to.
Yeah, the aggressive pushing and stuff. They have no problem with pushing. They try to push like crazy.
America stands with us. America stands.
This man right here is a counter protester to protesters that are in whatever this area is. I'm not exactly sure this area is. I've seen the full extended video of what happened with this guy. He got into the group of protesters and was trying to engage himself as an anti-protester in the middle of their group. And one of the ladies was trying to actually pull him off to the side to get him away. Look, don't be all up in our group. Like, it was almost really potentially maybe for his safety. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what, or just the fact of just trying to get him away or out of the way. And he gets engaged with one of the guys because the guy was trying to help her get him out of the way. And he went off. He claimed that he didn't have a problem with her because she was a woman, but that he would fight and go at him being a male or whatever. But then he gets away from the woman, and the ICE officers push everybody back and out of the way except for him. They basically corral him and protect him, and then allow him to start just ranting and saying the things he was saying.
Hey, why is this bitch standing in the street? He got one off. Why don't you tell him to get off the fucking street? That's what I'm saying. Is it just us? Why does he get to stand on the street?
This is how black people are.
Yeah. Oh, this is how black people are.
There's more. There's more.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God, dragged on. These are American papers. Get out of here.
Everybody back up. Don't hurt anybody. Back up. Don't hurt
Back up.
This is the lady that was trying to like
What we're trying to do.
calm him down,
We will
but
not back down. We will not surrender. These people will not continue to intimidate us in our country. The storm is here. When we come one, we go all. No one can stop what is coming.
What do you stand
You're
for?
an immigrant too.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, what a pretty guy.
This is Concord land. This is Concord land, buddy. Hey, we executed one of you yesterday. We executed one of you yesterday.
it doesn't go to show. But she's walking around at that moment around him, being like, "Don't give him footage. Just cut your cameras off. Don't give him the time of day. Don't this is nonsense." Like that's that's basically what she was trying to say. But as you hear him there, he's sitting there stoking about this is what we're here for. This is conquered land. This is we executed one of yours yesterday. This is the mentality of people who support these actions. Okay, this is the mentality. This is what is stoking these type of actions. And as you see, these guys are not trying to stop him, not trying to be like, look, bro, like, no, like, get back, go back over here, like, do your thing. We're not going to, just like we don't want these people in our way, we also don't want you, because no, they are perfect. They are protecting, they're allowing him. They're making sure that the protesters stay away from him and allowing him to spew what he is spewing here.
Continue to intimidate us in our country. The storm is here. When we come one, we go all. No one can stop what is coming.
What do you stand
You're
for?
an immigrant too.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, what a pretty guy.
This is Concord land. This is Concord land, buddy. Hey, we executed one of you yesterday. We executed one of you yesterday.
That is what supporters of these actions, how they are verbally expressing. Okay. That is their mentality. That's how they feel. This is the mentality of the other side. Check this out.
Murdering a mother of a 6-year-old child, you're in the wrong place in your soul. God help you. God help you. Every one of us has to look at what the choices we make in this world. We have to look at the decisions we make. No amount of money is worth what happened. No amount of money is worth taking fathers away from their families so they can't work. No amount of money is worth that. It's walk away. You can walk away. You don't have to do this.
So can you, man.
You really don't have to do this. You don't have to do it. Everybody has to follow their own conscience. Everyone has to follow their conscience. Everyone has to do what's right in front of their God, in front of their soul, in front of themselves. That's what you have to do. You have to grapple with the fact that a 37-year-old mother was murdered by ICE yesterday. In cold blood, she left a 6-year-old son. Her son's named Emerson. Emerson does not have a mother today. Emerson doesn't have a mother today because one of you murdered a woman in cold blood yesterday. Emerson does not have a mother today. Don't smirk at me, man. Don't smirk at me. I can see the smirk behind that. Don't smirk. The death of a woman is not smirkable thing.
And she's very much right. You can tell that he is smirking. He thinks this is funny. And that's the sad part. She's talking truth here. She's talking about the fact that a woman lost her life, regardless of whether or not you think she may have been in the wrong in her actions or not. A woman lost her life. A child is no longer has a mother. A 6-year-old no longer has parents, period, because his father apparently already died a couple of years ago. So now he's without his actual mother and father to grow up now. And even think about that. He has to grow up now. And when at some point he's going to have to engage and have to like take in what happened to his mother in this instance. Think about what that might do to him. The perception that he's going to have of these type of actions. That his mother lost her life because people who are supposed to be trained individuals, who are supposed to be professionals, who are supposed to be understand how to like engage in a situation respectfully or responsibly, rather, to protect lives. And yet in this instance, one of them decided to pull a weapon, and not not just like an actual weapon that can kill, a gun, not some tear gas thing or whatever, and argue around the dangers of that, but like he pulled his sidearm and discharged 3 times at her, ultimately causing her death. We have this again, the reality that we all are seeing in all these videos and all these things of what happened and the rationale that we are taking from it. And then again, you have the bubble of the administration and what they are putting out and continue to put out. There's been no step back and regrouping or anything from them about, well, okay, maybe we jumped to conclusions a little bit. There, it does seem a little wishy-washy now after we viewed more evidence. So we're going to do an investigation, blah, blah, blah. No. As a matter of fact, after the fact, when FBI first said that they were going to do a joint investigation with the state of Minnesota and officials there, then turned around and said, no, we're not going to allow you to do anything. We are taking over full control of it. FBI is going to take over full control of the investigation and will not be using Minnesota at all for assistance. That in itself, like, okay, what, really? And then a measure in Congress by one of the congresswomen to subpoena records for an investigation, and Republicans vote by the Oversight Committee. Republicans vote against it. They don't want an investigation done. And what do you think the FBI is going to do when they've got Kash Patel running it? The idea for them taking it full control is that they're just going to fucking hide it. They're going to claim whatever they want to claim, and they're just going to hide it and throw it away. This guy is not going to be reprimanded. It's very possible. And what is that going to do? That's just going to create even more uproar in the community and all across the United States. Because we are seeing the reality on the ground. We're seeing the reality of people being stripped, families being broken apart, people that are innocent, people that without records, that are not hurting, that are here making a living, contributing to society, paying taxes, even though they don't receive taxes, doing all the things that they should be allowed and should be okay for them to do to become U.S. citizens and everything else. They are being ripped from families, grabbed out of vehicles, grabbed from businesses, grabbed from courts, and shipped to concentration camps and shipped out to other countries, and all the things that they have done. The violence that they have put to anybody of opposition, regardless if you're a U.S. citizen or not or whatever, if you don't like it, attacking, getting violent, hurting, they don't care. It's like their first action is to get aggressive. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. So like I said, the inevitable conclusion was what happened a few days ago. It was bound to happen. When you are sending what is perceived as federal agents and, military-like operations in our own country, putting people at risk, putting them in fear, putting them in a situation where they feel like they are being attacked or that their neighbors are being attacked. This is the argument. This is the core argument of most Republicans. When it comes to the Second Amendment, I stated this in my video yesterday, that comes around the Second Amendment. That, reason why they think they need to have guns and that they will use them, against our government if our government comes at us. But yet here they are now. They're defending these actions. These people smirking at the fact that somebody is speaking on an action of a woman being murdered, losing her life by one of their peer. And that's not enough for them to be like, yeah, we're like, they don't have enough humanity to be like, dude, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That should not have happened. That should not have happened. I don't know if I can really do this anymore. This has gone too far. Instead, they're smirking. Instead, they're, yeah, lady, you could walk off too. Because they are defending their actions. And they're defending their peer who discharged their weapon on a woman who had no weapon, unarmed, just in her vehicle trying to get away. And while, yes, you could argue that her trying to get away was going against their commands, still does not justify that he should have pulled his sidearm and shot. It just doesn't. I don't care. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. This is another long video, just like yesterday's, but I'm so frustrated and tired of this, like, two realities going on here. And we've seen it for months now, where the administration makes claims on stuff that is just verifiably false, lies. Okay? The whole thing about around Venezuela and the boats, lies, verifiable. Or even if you won't say they're not lies, but they literally have not verified their so-called truths. all this shit that Trump goes around in his little spews and speeches every time he gets in front of a camera, where he rants through his outline of shit that his brain is remembered because he says it fucking 100 times a day. Lies, numbers that are lies. His truths and facts that are absolute lies, verifiably lies, over and over and over again. But just because he says it, just because the administration backs him up and says that they're truth, or weaves and bobs around like he does, well, he's meaning this, so you can see where A and B and that one over there's like it's why he said this, and it makes sense, and you just believe him. And people are still believing him. People are still defending him. And it's either you are just a complete fucking moron, a complete fucking idiot, and can't actually accept or absorb facts or reality. Or you fucking know that is lies and that it is fake and not true, a complete opposite reality, and you're okay with it, and you are part of that propaganda system. That's the only conclusion I can come to at this point. When everybody else is seeing the actual reality on the ground and looking at the administration going, but what the fuck? What? Why are you? That's not even remotely what, huh? Yet you look at them and go, they got it right. Or you're one of those that's like, please don't say that, or please don't do that. Okay, you said it. Let me draw a new line. Okay, well, please don't say this then, and don't do that. I guess I can't be mad at you. Please don't say this, or please don't do that. Okay, you did it. Oh, shit. I can't be mad at you though. Another line. There's two parallel realities going on, or one actual reality and one that is just completely fucking made up. And it's getting harder and harder to how is this being accepted? How are there so many people still in this? How? Just fucking how? How? It shows the clear division in this country. The clear division in this country. And it's becoming more and more clear with incidents like this. And if stuff like this doesn't open up your eyes, I don't fucking know what will. Again, you're either a complete moron and can't absorb reality and just excuse away for this administration, for the actions, or you are like that one guy, this is conquered land and we executed one of yours and we are coming at you. This is the full force and blah, 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 blah. I can't justify away anymore or try to strongman someone's continued defense and support of this administration. I can't. We are getting to a boiling point that these parallel reality / lie are going to impact like majorly. The things that you're seeing in Iran, which we're going to do a video on, with the protesters and shit, and this complete chaos there. Like hundreds of thousands of people in protest of the government, and because of stuff, economic hardships and all this kind of stuff, and feeling like they are, like decision making is not in their favor, like all this stuff going on over there. That you think these little bit of protest is going on here? That's the inevitable conclusion of what actions being taken by this administration. The protests, the people showing their disdain and their discomfort and opposition to these actions is going to grow and grow and grow and grow, just like it has already over the months with your No Kings protests and everything. It's continuously to grow and grow and grow and grow larger. Why? Because more and more people are upset. And why are people upset? Because this administration is fucking doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. They are not representative of the American people. Point blank. And we're sick and tired of the actions of this administration reflecting on America. When they only represent a minuscule, small section of blaringly fucking insane people in America. The like 20-25% of people who like hardcore support this administration. We're sick and tired of that group of people having the control that they have right now and being the representation for America, being what the world is seeing of America. Because that's not America. This administration is not America. Trump is not America. MAGA is not America. Put that on a fucking bumper sticker. Put that in a meme. Thank you very much for joining me. If you did, I know this is a long video again, but it is what it is. This kind of shit needs to be talked about. Let me know what you think. Till next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.